Okay, Orlando Wilson here. I want to answer a question. Somebody asked me, what do I think the essential factors are for providing protection to somebody, close protection to somebody? I will say, and we'll keep this simple, one, you need to have a decent threat assessment. You need to understand the threats you and your client are most likely going to encounter. And again, you got to remember, if you're protecting somebody, the threats apply to you, your family, and everybody else around you also, not just to the client. Two, counter surveillance. You need to make sure you're not being watched. You need to make sure you're not being followed, etc. And also these days that also applies to your electronic devices, computers, phones, etc. You need to make sure they're not hacked. I would say then, coming into providing protection, secrecy. Nobody needs to know what you're doing. Nobody needs to know where you're going. If nobody knows your schedule, your client's schedule, it's very difficult for people to set up on you, to attack you, because they're not going to know where you are. They're not going to know what you're doing. Combine that with counter surveillance. If you spot somebody, then you know there's an issue, then you go onto your SOPs for dealing with that type of issue. And I would also say advanced security is very, very, very important, which is something a lot of people overlook. I see a lot of guys and girls on the training courses and even in reality doing the M-bus, D-bus drills, etc. They're getting out the cars, they're looking around, they're looking cool, etc. But you know what? If they're getting out of a vehicle and you got some bad guy there with an AK, a fully automatic weapon, or a Glock with the switch and a drum mag on it, you're walking into a dangerous environment. All your CP drills aren't going to work if somebody's pumping how many rounds in your direction in a matter of seconds. So this is where your advanced security is essential to me, because the client never wants to be getting out or going into an environment that's unsecured. All your M-bus, D-bus drills are not going to work if the environment you're getting out to, the bad guys are already set up in that environment. So always use your advance, and the client should never go into an environment that's unsecured. If they're going to a restaurant, if they're going to the theater, your advanced people have been there and checked it out beforehand. Nobody should know they're going to that location because you're using secrecy. And as you're going to that location, you're using counter surveillance to make sure you're not being watched, to make sure you're not being followed. So those to me are the main elements if you're providing protection to somebody. Good threat assessment, counter surveillance, secrecy, and also advanced security. So in the meantime, follow me along on social media for more of these videos. I have an array of books up on Amazon to talk about various aspects of the close protection business, kidnap and ransom. I've got crime fiction books up there, and also a book on intelligence gathering, and also counterinsurgency for law enforcement. So follow me along on social media. I prefer LinkedIn, and in the meantime, be good, stay safe, and try to stay out of trouble.